Hello and welcome to the Library Grindhouse, where the only ticket you need is your library card. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Leah, and today we'll be reviewing the 2013 horror anthology film VHS 2.
Cool. So of course we open with some clunky sounds of a VHS tape loaded and videotape starts playing. Now, we skipped VHS 1.
We did.
We should probably note this off the top of the bat before we get into the clunky sounds here. Why did we skip that? I mean, we've already seen it.
I've already seen it, and it just, from my memory, now mind you, I watched these years ago, over 10 years ago. And, wait.
You watched this one over 10 years ago?
Was it over 10 years ago?
I mean, 2013.
So, no, it couldn't have been over 10 years ago. I watched it when I was in college, so I just equate that. But
Gotcha.
Anyway, I watched all of these when I was in college, and I remember liking VHS 2 far more than VHS. I haven't seen VHS Viral or the newest one, VHS 84
yeah.
which is Shudder only, right? I think it's only streaming on Shudder.
It's the VHS that shall not be named.
Yes.
It's the Voldemort of the franchise, since we don't have access through the library. But
but yeah, I remember VHS just...
It was fine. Like I remember it being like hard to see stuff. I feel like it was like not recorded quite as well. I mean, it felt authentically like shot on VHS to a degree, from what I remember. Like not grainy, but just obviously not as much ability to capture light in the dark scenes, and that kind of helped with its lo-fi effects to a degree. I just remember like a freaky girl with like sharp teeth and she could fly, I think, or something like that. Anyway, that was I remember that being kind of cool, but it was like that was fine, and I think it just made a ton of money because it was something different, and anthology films are kind of having a renaissance, if you will. And so I think it made a ton of money, so it's like, well, of course we're going to greenlight too. And so I have the memory too of I watched it for when I was doing the Hoopla Halloween Chiller-thon a few years ago. I watched both of those, and I just remember VHS 2 was just like, wow, is this an upgrade?
Yeah.
I mean, and I love how it was going to be called SVHS, like Super VHS.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was an actual format, and it felt like it was a lot crisper. Like it still felt like it could be, these are tapes, but at the same time. Yeah, which
Well, in this one too, instead of them only
they're using digital footage.
Yeah,
it's obviously digital footage, but the cool thing is, it's like these things are like bootleg tapes. Like these are things you don't want to have digitally. Like you wouldn't digitally share, because this is something that would get you like the FBI or CIA like on your trail. So you want to do on VHS just because for like not people like not it's like one of those things where back alleys and things like that.
Yeah.
But you're not leaving a digital trail. Trading these tapes necessarily.
Which I thought that was kind of like, I'm glad that you mentioned that.
That's the mythology of it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because during some of these films, obviously a lot of them are shot with GoPros.
Yeah, no, it's like GoPro.
And I was like, okay, GoPros, that's nifty, but why did they go onto a VHS tape? But it was because...
When you think about it, like these things are crazy. These are snuff films. These are like things where it's like, these were like, governments would be like, hiding these things when they found them, like because you assume the authorities are finding these tapes, and then somebody's leaking them dubbing them to VHSs and leaking them out, and that's kind of like they're making the rounds, like a.
So that's what I mean.
Are
they like shipping these around to different people, or like?
I think there's like a certain you can imagine there's like a Reddit thing or like a forum of some kind that it wouldn't be Reddit, it wouldn't be a public forum, but it'd be something like a private thing, like a old school message board sort of scenario where it's like these tape traders, or even like you hear about this guy has this tape that like shows this. Yeah. And so then it's like you can only get it maybe if you trade something else, or you pay a lot of money or whatever.
Or create another tape in order to.
There are people who just love these crazy, like, oh my gosh, like, is this real? Is it not? Because I remember like as a kid, there was a thing called Faces of Death that was just like this like thing you heard about, like the Anarchist Cookbook, that was just like whispered about when you're like in 5th grade, like, did you hear about this? Like, whatever, like it's crazy, like this person actually gets killed on tape, and it's like. And it turns out it's all fake, but it kind of goes along with that kind of the mythologizing of like this tape of this thing that you hear about, and it's like, is that real?
Is it real? Is it
Memorex? Again, another tape reference, but yeah. So we open with the sounds of a clunky VHS tape being loaded, and a videotape starts playing. So ostensibly, we are now a part of this thing. That we are, even though we didn't pop a VHS tape in our player to watch this thing, we are now ostensibly a part of this universe, which is kind of fun. It'd be more fun if you could only get this movie on VHS.
Yeah, no, that would be kind of fun.
But then we wouldn't be reviewing it right now because you couldn't check it out with your library card because we
true.
don't have VHS tapes anymore, even though we occasionally do get asked if we still have VHS tapes.
I was actually asked that the other day.
Really, Leah? Okay,
yes,
it's been a few years ago for me.
No, I was asked if we have VHS tapes, and then I was also asked if we take VHS tapes for the Friends of the Library, which we do. We do.
There you go.
Library Grindhouse will be back after these messages.
This episode of the Library Grindhouse is unofficially brought to you by the fact that the Friends of the Library accepts donations of VHS tapes. If you have legitimate copies of real movies on VHS that weren't trades in a back alley, then donate them to the Friends of the Library.
And now back to the Library Grindhouse.
So basically, all these movies have like a framing story. So the framing story starts. So we've got a man and a woman walking what looks like a hotel room, and the person taping it's breathing very loudly, kind of shades of Halloween.
Yeah.
And some of our other movies where random guy near the camera is breathing Darth Vader style. The voyeur is capturing footage of their activities before a housekeeper catches the guy. He drives off and gets away, and now he's called the man on the tape, telling him that his wife paid him to get that footage, but that if he could neglect to show the man's wife for the right price or she keep paying him. So this guy's kind of despicable. He's playing both sides.
Yeah, and I thought that was, at first I thought it was going to start off like, oh, we're starting off with a peeping Tom, we're starting off with some like creepy guy automatically, but then you find out, oh, it really is his PI job. He's a private investigator. That makes sense.
That'd be one thing if he had loyalty to the person who
doesn't,
hired him. But he has absolutely no loyalty. It's all about the money for him. He has no code of ethics. So it's hard to feel too bad about what happens to him. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
But he's riding with his lady, we think?
His secretary he's fooling around with?
Or is it his... I thought they were a couple, and maybe she's just along for the ride. I don't know.
Yeah, so the guy's a PA. A lady who's reported her son's missing. So the PI and his assistant, TM. Anyway, go to check it out. Sounds like it'll be lucrative. So there's aluminum foil around the windows, which is kind of a cool, creepy...
Yeah.
I mean, not blackout curtains, but aluminum foil, which feels conspiracy theory, feels paranoid.
But that does lead into what is inside the house. And also, PI breaking into a home, because he breaks into a window with a crowbar.
She tells him that the window's broken.
Oh,
She's like, so if no one answers, the mom says the back window's broken. I'm like, how the heck does she know that?
Yeah, and like, if the mom...
You get in through the back window, like Jimmy the back window, and it's like, what?
And if the mom is trying to find the son, why isn't she over at the house, like Jimmy in the window meeting there?
Or is this like, did he tell her to do this? Did he set this up? Did he...
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll never know, but hey, that's all right. So we come to a room with a bunch of TVs playing static and a laptop. There's a drop of blood on the wall, and he touches it.
I know.
What?
Why would you touch it?
I'm like, you've now like implicated yourself, dude.
It was ketchup. He was eating those McDonald's fries very.
I guess, yeah, the little ketchup packets. You gotta love that. So he checks to see if his lady friend here has her gun. She does.
Which says she has to be a private investigator. That's what led me to that. She's carrying around a weapon.
Or he's like, or when they start dating, he's like, he will carry a gun. Like,
yeah, if you're going with me on these things.
Or something, yeah. So, but I do assume she's in his employ.
Yeah, something.
And that they're also involved. I don't know how this is working, but anyway. So I guess the laptop's also recording video.
There was also something before she watches the first tape.
This is all you have before that. Yep.
She's on his laptop and she's kind of clicking through different things.
Right.
And obviously it's recording her. She pulls up a window and it's her on the screen.
Right.
And she just nonchalantly clicks off of it. Oh, whatever. And I'm
not hitting stop.
I would be like, why are you recording me? What?
Okay, let's stop this because she's cloning the hard drive, which I'm just like, well, you're not cloning it because you're recording to the hard drive. So the hard drive is recording data right now. Like, you'd want to stop that to then clone the hard drive as it is right now. So she puts a tape in, and we get the first short film, which I do kind of like this conceit that each of these tapes is going to be a short film done by a different director or directing team, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate that. It's kind of a fun way for like directors who've done other things to kind of cut loose on a short format. I wish there were more anthology films that would allow people to play in a different kind of sandbox.
I agree. And also for people who don't know like what horror anthology is, we should probably explain that. So it's like it's little short horror films with an overarching...
With a connector, like the connective tissue. Like maybe it's a person around a campfire like who's
telling stories, and then each story is their own little
to like
snippet.
The story of like, and that's a new film. Like it's a collection of short films essentially bound together by a surrounding Frame story, as it were. Like Frame is in
Creepshow is a big one that has been a big one
Yes.
that a lot of people have watched that kind of have that comic book. Well, it starts off as a kid
Yes.
reading a comic book, and it's like each little comic book strip is its own movie or its
Right.
own little segment. So just in case you didn't know what an anthology was,
Now you do.
now you do.
Yeah. Very good, Leah. Thank you. So yeah, first short film starts. So we have a doctor looking into the camera, which is apparently a man's new eye post-injury, which is kind of cool. So the tech's brand new. So they inserted a recording chip to document everything. Nice excuse.
Yes, I know, right?
It's always recording. Well, that's convenient for us, isn't it, Leah?
And the guy is not happy about that for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
I mean,
because the KPG Corporation will not allow him to turn it off, even when he's using the restroom.
because they paid for it, right?
Yes.
They paid for this implant, so beggars can't be choosers.
Which is kind of shady to me. And
Yeah.
kind of not cool. But I guess he could have denied having the eye. It's like, well, you want the eye, or do you
not want it?
Yeah, so he'll take it. So a woman walking into the hospital slows down and gives him a really good hairy eyeball, just really long, just like that. Man, it's just during a long time.
Which at first I thought,
And no pun intended with hairy eyeball. Sorry.
At first I thought it was because his eye does look strange. Like even when he looks at himself in the mirror, you can see it, and it's obviously a robotic eye.
But like he walks past her, she's looking. I'm like, okay, that'd be one thing. But he turns around and she's still staring at him, like staring at his back, just like his eye can't be that freaky, and it's not that freaky.
No, it's not.
It's like it'd be more like a, huh. And actually, I'm a person who'd just be like, in my head, just be like, that's weird, and walk on.
Yeah.
And not, because I'm not that kind of person who just would stare like that. But man, she gives him a good hairy eyeball. Anyway. So the man got a ride home with a friend?
I don't know.
Or was it just like random guy on the street? Just like
I think it's a friend.
because he says like, do you need anything or something like that? Which I'm just like, it seemed like he had to walk somewhere.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like no one seemed to be there to pick him up. That was kind of a weird cut.
But I feel like after surgery, somebody always has to pick you up, like in terms of.
That's what I mean. Where I'm just like, why wasn't that car just like right there? Like he looks back at the girl, and the guy's like, "Hey, bud, sorry I'm late," or like, "I'm here," or whatever. We should get going, and then cut to like there. Like I don't know why they didn't bother to have that just that one thing of like, as opposed to like, did he hitchhike?
Yeah.
After his surgery, like he didn't have a plan. I mean, because obviously this guy's got some money. Like he could have had a chauffeur. Like I would have bought it because that man's got a great view.
Yes, he does.
Like, oh my gosh, this is like a millions of dollars of house just for the view alone. So this guy's got some serious money. And you think he'd be able to get the ad-free, non-recording version of the eyeball. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this guy had a house like this,
upgrade.
He would have been able to turn off the ads, that would actually have been kind of funny if like, we have the ad-supported version of like the Amazon eyeball of just like constant like lower banner, or like you look at something and it's like constantly like, hey, you can buy a new microwave right now for, this much money on sale. Could you imagine that?
Oh man, or even like when you're looking around, it just shows you the price of certain things. Like
exactly, like
man.
Or like, notice dent here, new microwave. Say yes to order.
That'd be horrible. That'd be horrifying, actually.
But it's coming.
Yeah.
Anyway,
obviously it is. That is true.
So nice house, great view. He's playing a really cool shmup game. He's boiling a kettle for tea, and we get the kettle whistling, which I'm just like, that feels very analog and anachronistic to me. Like, who does that? But I think tea's very popular, and I guess and
then all of a sudden when you're in the next room, it crashes down, and there's no water or anything. So did he use all of the?
Well, no, he poured his thing. He leaves. And then he finds his controller's missing. The kettle crashes. Yeah. Because this is where we're like, it's escalating to like, something's going on. Something's in the house. Something, do you want to play a game? No, I'm just kidding. It's not like that. But anyway, so then someone's in the bed, or looks like it at least, which I mean, that's so cool. Like seeing the sheets. Like,
it was so creepy too. And it's like completely over the person's head. Like,
like a burial shroud sort of look. It's like.
Which I mean, I sleep like that too, but still, that's pretty scary.
So then nothing's under the sheets, but then he turns around and sees a zombie/bloody person, ?
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I'm just like, what's going on? But so he runs and closes the door.
Well, and I did like that cut where he pulls the sheet back and there's nobody there.
Right.
And the person's right here. So obviously it's something supernatural or paranormal.
Yeah, I mean,
because
just the way they look. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess if you worked really hard, you could really kind of do the sheets just like so. I mean, or like if you starched them and you wanted to prank a guy, like I'm sure there's a MythBusters, like, could you really, with like really heavily starched sheets, like sculpt
a person there?
I mean, it might take you hours, but like, could a person do that?
I wonder, maybe.
I don't know. And like, he looked kind of zombie-ish, but like not quite enough.
Yeah.
And you get a great look at them. And the other thing was, like, I was very confused about the layout of this house. That he keeps running into like what I think is like, it's kind of a weird looking bathroom.
It looks like his master bathroom.
But then it like I couldn't tell which door opened on like that long hallway, because it seemed like, is there a pass through the bathroom?
I don't know.
Like, I was confused about the layout of this house, which kind of bothered me, because I was just like, because I wanted to know like how secure was he in terms of like, he locked that door, which had a hook lock, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's a pocket door, so I think the hook was actually just to pull it out.
It was a pocket door.
Because he broke that one time. I was just like, so how is he able to lock the door still?
Ooh,
but it is just the pull.
Okay. I like how the eye glitches too. Like, you get static occasionally.
Yeah.
It's like, for the amount you paid for this eye, yeah. Anyway, there's a woman at the door. It's the one from the doctor's office. She somehow tracked him down. She has to be seeing weird stuff like dead people. Her name's Clarissa.
Which is strange too, which I thought was weird, because how would she know?
Well, she's Clarissa. She explains it all.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm old.
But how would she know? Like, how would she know that? Well, anyway, okay. So she explains that she had a what's it called? She was born
cochlear
deaf,
implant,
and she had a cochlear implant.
Quiet Place style.
Yes, from the same people. So I'm guessing it is like another thing where, I don't know, they can always record what she's hearing or something if it's part of that same company.
Yeah, it's a microphone, so they pick up everything she says, basically.
So, but now all of a sudden she can, which you find out, she can hear the dead. She can hear them, and he can see them.
Yes.
So that's where it goes. And then she's like, there's only one thing that you can do to stop it. And all of a sudden they
just focus on me.
do the deed.
Yeah, having sex will make them go away.
Don't
apparently.
understand that.
well, the whole thing is she warns him that the more you interact with the people, the more they can touch you, hurt you, etc. So, and if he gets the implant taken out, they'll still be there. He just won't be able to see them. And if she has her implant taken out, they'll still be there, but she won't be able to hear them, which I guess they can still affect you.
Which is pretty scary when you think about it.
Because like, he could do it now, but the problem is he's seen them. He knows they're there, and he'll keep thinking about them, which then in lieu would make them still be able to mess with him. Just now he won't be able to see what's going on, which is crazy. She has a wrist wound.
Which I thought that was strange, which I will get to towards the end of this particular segment.
And something has Clarissa in the pool. She drowns, and now that whatever's in there is after him. He takes a straight razor to cut the eye out, and he does that. All the dead people are now there in the bathroom, but he can't see them. But we see them through the eye, which is a fun touch. And then the eye is shoved towards his mouth. At least it looks like it's being shoved into his mouth. And then the footage started out, and we're back to the woman and the PI at the TV.
So I thought that maybe the woman who came to talk to him was actually dead, and that was the first thing that was the first dead person that he saw. Because it looked like she had a wound on her wrist that was shown pretty visibly, and there's a reason for it.
Troubled.
She did seem troubled.
So I'm thinking.
So maybe she tried something in order to make her stop hearing.
Either she was. Well, no, I think she maybe tried to kill herself and it didn't work after the implants, or if she's been abused by an uncle, she might have tried to commit suicide, or it was a cutter as a result of her abuse. So I think it's like just saying that this is a troubled woman.
Because my thing is, she was like, the more that you touch them, the more you interact with them, the more harm they can do. And he's only had this eye for a day.
But she wasn't the one doing any of that stuff to him, though. Like, she was trying to help him. These ghosts are not trying to help him.
But that's what I mean. Maybe she could have just been a friendly ghost, and he didn't realize it. And then he was touching her so much that now all of these things can now touch him and mess with him after a day.
No, but I think... I don't think so. I don't think so. I think
Jesse's
it was
vetoing mine.
No, I think she was a troubled person and like that kind of thing. And then she was at a point where she'd gotten to the point where they could.
It was affecting her so much.
Yeah. She wouldn't have been able to drown. Like, she would still be fine.
Unless that was all in his mind. But yeah, you're right. You are right about that.
Because like she was alive and now she's not, and that's not how these things operate. And she also none of these things talk.
That's true.
And so, I mean, it would have been a nice touch if then in the bathroom she was there too.
She would have, yeah.
Or like she shows up and like does something.
And by the way, that was so gross too. He takes that razor.
Yeah.
And like, I love how he's like, he can't watch it and he does it off screen.
Yeah, but I thought there were solid tension and jump scares, because one of the things I appreciate is the immediacy of just like, we're in this guy's face.
Yes.
Like, and so it just, you feel like all these things, it's like they're either wearing a camera usually, and the immediacy of it is one of the most effective things for me, because I'm just like, like, you know, it's more effective for me. And the cool thing is, like, most of these movies, like found footage films, like this is technically a found footage and anthology film, is that the problem with them is largely, why are you recording this? And it's like, oh, it's an eyeball that records all the time. You know,
most of these go around that whole thing where it's like, why are you recording it?
Good job.
They
like,
get around
the
it.
Excuses are solid enough where I'm just like, I will give you that, sir.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and so that made me happy. So back to the frame story. So she calls for Larry, the PI guy, who shows up, and she's cloning the hard drive. Again, I don't know how you're cloning a hard drive that's actively recording video without it cloning until, again, you hit stop.
Yes.
Anyway. So the kid they're looking for is saying in the video that people are saying that the videos only effective if you play them in a sequence, and then they mute the video before we can hear more, which I'm just like, don't you want to know anything about it? Like, I don't know. I'm like, aren't you curious? But so Larry tells the woman to keep looking at the tapes to see if there's anything they can use on them. So he's guilty of murdering her.
He's doing it, yeah.
So he's a little bit culpable there. And then we hear more of the kid saying something about the effect on the cerebral cortex, and he brings up the supernatural, and then she puts in the next tape before we can find out more. And then we get the second short film. Which is one of the best ones. This is kind of the one everyone talks about with this movie. So we get a man.
I do agree.
And I think this one's done by the Blair Witch guys.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think it's the people who did Blair Witch, which is, of course, the iconic found footage film from '99. The man turns on a camera. It's mounted on the handlebars of his bike, which we really don't see that camera much.
Well, no, but he ends up losing the bike. You see it.
Right. I guess you do see some of that, yeah. And he has a GoPro on his helmet, too. He takes a call from a significant other who wants to be with him, but he wants to ride his bike on this beautiful day. Bad choice, sir.
And that's all he wants to do. She even says, like, all you do is ride your bike, or like, why don't you marry it? Like one of those type things.
I know, it's like, come home and have sex with me. No, I'd rather ride my bike. I'm like, dude, you should have gone home, man. Would have been better.
This is all your fault, guy.
I know, it sure is. It's all on you, dude. So the screaming woman runs into his path. 'Cause we do get some sweet mountain biking footage. But anyway, it's kind of, I was already bored by like the third hop. I'm like, really? This is, wow.
It's mainly him like smiling though, like, yay!
Right. He's so happy. He does love riding. He should marry that bike, actually. So Screaming Woman runs his path, who's injured and saying something about her boyfriend, and the man stops to help. She starts puking blood or like black bile.
And that was kind of strange. That was cool.
It was gnarly.
Looked like
it was like a fire hose.
Brown.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of Evil Dead, like how they made the blood every color but red to avoid like an NC-17.
Yep.
So anyway, he grabs a stick because he's seeing people in the woods coming towards him. He's attacked by the woman. He kills her with a rock. He's been bitten. He runs off. The zombies are in pursuit. He's got blood spurting from his womb. He pukes blood like the woman, falls down a hill.
Which I was waiting for that. I was waiting for him to turn into one. I was like, oh, this is it. Even in my notes, I was like, it's a zombie wearing a GoPro.
He's not quite dead yet.
This is the best thing ever, though. It's going to be a zombie wearing a GoPro.
And it turns out that that's the case. Yeah, I love how you hear him changing into the zombie.
Yeah.
Like he stops breathing, he dies. And then like you hear the ragged breathing start.
Because another couple comes up and they try to help him.
Yeah, the people on bikes, they see him and stop. And they're lost, which is like, of course they're lost.
Of course.
Yeah, no pulse. Then we see the man's hand move. It's like so well constructed of just how he falls, just so the hand's like in the view. And we see the his hand move. He bites the guy who stopped to help, but the woman gets away. He bites himself, like he's trying to figure out, like, I just need to eat flesh. I like that, like he's a zombie. We see the zombie trying to figure out, like, is this what tastes good? Is this what I need to satisfy this hunger? Yeah, he spits it out. Yeah, and anyway, and then we see the guy who stopped to help turning into a zombie. The man eats his fingers, takes his wallet. Throws that away when it doesn't taste good. He tries to eat it.
Which I thought was funny. I was like, no, leather, bad.
Exactly. Yeah, people, not animals. But anyway, eats some of the dude's guts. The woman comes back and they eat together because she got bit too. Until the guy who helps gets up. So all three set off for more adventures.
For more zombie adventures.
Yeah.
Which, there was another, no, it's this part. Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they hear people, and now we switch to a camcorder. Which I love. Now there's like this other camera there. It's at a birthday party at the state park they're biking in. Child's birthday, no less. And the dude at the party hits the GoPro guy multiple times with a baseball bat, which I'm just like, so this is the whole chaos now because these zombies are attacking this birthday party. And then that guy gets attacked. The camcorder person's attacked, and the minivan with kids tries to get away from the GoPro guy. GoPro guy sees his reflection in the mirror as the handle of the grill fork, because he stabs the grill fork, and I love how the handle's there, and it's banging against the glass.
Yeah.
It's knocking against the window as he's like looking at himself in the van window. It's so many great little touches. We hear the shotgun being cocked. Then the GoPro guy turns around, gets shot.
And of course, there's a guy who just brings a shotgun to a little kid's birthday party. Like, man with the shotgun.
You never know
shows
who
up.
has guns. I mean, it's just...
You never know what people will bring to kids' birthday parties, guys.
Well, some people just bring that stuff everywhere.
That's true, but...
I mean, anyway, so yeah, the GoPro gets up, minivan speeds off, which I'm glad the kids got away. I was so worried about that. It seemed like a child's weeping over this dead guy, and I thought she was eating him at first. And I'm like, was she?
I think it's a mom. I think it's a mom weeping over a dead person.
Okay, I was wondering, because yeah. And then the GoPro wanders that way, stopping to stare at a teddy bear that was dropped before a pickup slams into him and runs over. Just like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. That was crazy. GoPro guy removes the barbecue pork, and then the GoPro guy, his name's Mike, we find out. His significant other, Amy, calls, and somehow the call has already been accepted as on speaker. So
yeah,
I guess the pickup truck answered the phone for him when it hit him? Like,
she said that he butt dialed her,
butt
so
dialed,
maybe.
But on a smartphone?
Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like butt dialing went away with... But then again, sometimes my flashlight's on in my pocket. I'm like, how did I turn that on? I didn't touch the phone. Like, what? Anyway, so he whimpers at her voice, gets the shotgun, blasts the helmet off his head, which flips around and lands perfectly to show the zombie GoPro guy dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, the camera like flips around and lands perfectly.
And that must mean, too, that he has some semblance of, like, remembering.
No, she reminded him.
Yeah,
his brain wasn't completely gone yet, and so he still had like, oh yeah, I was a human being, and I could have gone home and been with her instead of turning into a zombie. I'm a monster on many levels.
And I was just waiting, though. There's a scene when he's at the children's birthday party and he burns his fingers on the grill, and I thought he was going to try and eat them. Like,
does it taste better now?
Is it better? Yeah, I was just waiting for him. Like, is he going to eat his own fingers? Is he going to eat it?
Am I tastier cooked?
And they did it, and I was like, daggone it, that would have been the perfect thing. Yeah, like charbroiled.
They should have had like a zombie booger joke of like, do your boogers taste good as a zombie now, or is he like, like no, even that's bad now. So then we go back to the frame story, and Larry walks into where the woman is. She's staring at the static on the screens, and she has a bloody nose, which is kind of a nice touch. He has to shake her a bit to knock her out of her trance. He offers to go to the drugstore for meds for her, and she doesn't feel like moving and tells him to go. Like, she's just like, get out of here.
Get out of here. Like, I want to watch more.
I know. And he says he'll be right back, which that's not a good thing to say in a horror movie. Anyway, but and someone we can't see is clearly crawling in the room behind her, looking at her.
And that was a creepy touch. That was really creepy.
It was fun. Yeah. She puts in another tape and looks upset. I can't imagine why she's upset.
Why?
It's like she's compelled, but she's upset about it.
I would stop watching the tapes. I would stop. Obviously, you know what they are. But
at this point, she's sucked in. She's in the. It's
like they have a
whole.
She's in that dreamlike.
She's like, she knows she shouldn't, but she has to.
Well, and I love how she was like, I was sleeping. Like, she tells him that she was sleeping.
Yeah, she thought. She blacked out. So watching the stuff. Yeah. So now we're on to the third movie, and wow, is this one wild.
Yes, it is.
And I have to note, first and foremost, that the director of this one is the guy who did the Raid movies in Indonesia, where apparently life is cheap, because there's no way people didn't get killed making those movies, or at least severely hurt. But anyway, so, I mean, there's not a lot of action in this one, but just where it goes, I mean, just... Anyway, so we start with a documentary crew in a parking lot getting set up. It looks like at least one will be wearing a hidden camera, which... In the end, I'm just like, why are they wearing a spy cam when they're openly recording everything? They were never told, here's a part where you can't bring in cameras, so this is why you're going to have button cams, because it's like, yes, we have no other cameras, because it's like, yeah, that looks like a button, and it's like...
The only thing that I could think of since he tossed it to him was like maybe they were going to stash it somewhere else, like in a different room or something while they were filming, like to see the actual behind the scenes. Because the woman, when she was coming in, she said that you can only film what the leader wants us to film.
But then there should have been a point where it's like, okay, past this point, cameras must be off. You can take notes when you interview Father, but you can't tape Father talking or something along those lines. But then Father's there at the restaurant, which I'm just like, why is Madam or somebody else, like a handler or a minion or somebody like a representative of Father? Like, Father should be too important to meeting him at this restaurant. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. But anyway, so there's the hidden cameras. So then we cut to one of the people with the hidden camera talking to a man drinking milk in a restaurant. And the milkman, as basically all I know him as at this point, is talking about a paradise with a capital P, that all around them is temporary. There's a higher order, another plane of existence. And the man and his followers are getting closer and closer to crossing over the promised gates. As soon as I start hearing gates, like literal gates, not metaphorical, I think of Heaven's Gate, that cult, the infamous cult.
Yep, I was like, Asian cult is what's happening right now. There's some sort of cult going on. Like,
So they asked to come visit the commune. He refuses to let non-believers into Paradise Gates, which is what this whole thing is called, because he knows everyone outside sees him as a carnival freak show. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. And it's not until the woman actually says something.
Lena, we find out, she says they want to give an unbiased view of what they're actually up to try to remove the stereotypes, as it were.
And the way how she says it, she's doing it in a very gentle way. Like, she's literally, it makes it believe that she is not taking sides whatsoever. She just wants to report what really is going on there. Who knows? Maybe you actually do have the correct word or whatever, like the correct ideology, and all of us
you're not like what everyone thinks you are. That what everyone the rumors just aren't true or unfounded, or you're just misunderstood. And so she holds the male documentarian's hand, but after the Paradise Gates guy looks at that, she takes her hand away, which I was trying to read something into that, and I didn't know
if it was like a patriarchy thing, or if maybe he thinks that, like, oh, you two have. I don't know.
Well, I wonder if it was like they were hoping that maybe he'd be attracted to Lena, and that would like get them in, and then seeing them hold hands like that, then all of a sudden it seems like she's off limits, and that will then ruin their opportunity. Like, I was trying to see, like, what was that dynamic happening? Now we have closed circuit video footage of a man dragging 2 bags in a hallway, which I'm like, what's going on there? Like, I was just thinking of like body parts in there.
That was
or something.
Really random.
Like,
I was just like, is that their like food that he's dragging? Like, is that?
Is it just garbage, laundry? Like, I don't know. And then we see children in a classroom singing as a teacher points to words on a blackboard, and then a room that looks like crosses with a stick figure on them, like the stick figure's crucified.
Yeah, like little made talisman everywhere.
It was very Blair Witch kind of looking thing. And there's a medium-sized one on the wall with 3 smaller ones beneath it. And there's a large one on the table in the middle of the room with symbols around it, and 2 people lighting candles on the wall.
And then, of course, the girl gives the woman a talisman.
Yes, when they arrive. So
I thought that was when they did arrive.
Not yet, because then we see the room with the man who's being interviewed sitting at a desk with his shirt pulled up and held under his chin. It looks like he's about to slice his belly open or something. We don't see what he does because it cuts away, which again. Someone's like masterminding this cut that's put on this tape. You'd want to have that, right?
To see that. That's true.
Like, that have to be on the tapes. Like, what? Why are they selecting what they're selecting, other than just like you want to be surprised? So that's where the artifice of this whole thing kind of grates a little bit. Of just like when you really think about it, it's like, why would you cut that of all things? Because you're wanting like the outrageousness.
I understand that, unless they are doing it for the effect, like the end big results. Because they did say that you have to watch it in a certain sequence, so maybe you can't watch so much gore.
But you're still watching the tapes in sequence. It doesn't matter about the...
Well, maybe you have to like be enticed into the story or something. I don't know.
Maybe the hypnotism of it is like if you hit them too hard with stuff, they'll stop watching the tape or turn off the tape. Like, you don't want to hit them with too much. You want them to be like, well, what's happening?
You want them to be intrigued.
You want the mystery. Like,
yeah.
I'm giving the movie way too many favors with that, but that's all right. It's all right. It's all right. So the documentary crew shows up on security footage after they arrive and start unloading. And we start getting their footage again at this point, which I kind of like that they have ideas of like, okay, so of course the crew wouldn't be necessarily filming their drive into the compound.
Yeah.
You think they would get some B-roll outside or something of, you'd want to have something like, okay, now we're going to get the car driving in, so stand here in the corner and get a shot of us pulling into the compound. And
I don't know, maybe it's
there's things they could have done.
There are things they could have done, but maybe it's just because I mean, I don't know what they're filming it for.
But again, that's stuff you'd all cut for this because it's not interesting. So in that sense, yes, there'd be no reason to have that B-roll. But anyway, so they set up an action cam in the trunk of the vehicle looking out the back. Why?
I don't know that either.
Why?
I have that in my notes. I have no clue
I'm just
why.
I was like, oh wait, I remember, like, 'cause I've seen this before. It's like, I remember at the end, like when he drives away, I thought maybe it was there to like show. I'm like, is it? Because it seemed very deliberate choice of like tossing him the camera, him turning it on, making sure it's on, then putting it very specifically looking out the back of just like.
I don't know.
Like, they could have given me any reason.
Did that when he was like trying to hurry up. Maybe like he set it down, he forgot it, or I don't know.
Like maybe it was supposed to be he could have set it up like he has like like something where he's supposed to wear it or it's supposed to be on something and he forgets it there. Like he's gonna attach it and then he like someone calls him away to do something else. He puts it there and he forgets and closes the trunk. Like there's any number of business you could have given him. Sorry, it's just one of those things where it really drove me crazy. Because otherwise, this sequence is one of the best in the thing. So anyway, so Malik. Is his name Malik or Malik? I'm trying to remember how you pronounce it.
I have no idea.
So he's the director. Lena's the producer on this documentary crew. And then Lydia, a young girl who doesn't speak for herself, puts one of the stick figure crucifixes on Lena when they arrive. It's kind of like, you arrive in Hawaii, you get the lei. You get a creepy talisman.
But it was weird because they only gave it to the woman. They did not give a talisman to any of the men there, only to the woman.
Right.
And then she does not like it, so she tries to give it to a guy, and he ends up tossing it. And when he tossed it, it laid on the ground with a whole bunch of other talisman there. But I didn't see what that was.
It looked like a random, shrine of some kind, because I thought there were some candles or something. I thought about rewinding, but I'm just like, why?
I did the same thing. I had the exact same thought process. But I was like, is that just like a pile of other talismans?
Everyone else who came who wasn't comfortable with it, and because we do get later that maybe there was a failed thing going on of just well, that didn't work out. So basically, every other person they invited has done this, including her. And
see, my thing is maybe the talisman keeps you alive. Everyone has their own talisman.
But that's not what they were looking for.
No, but in the end,
I think, I don't know if by accepting the talisman, you are then accepting the role in the cult that you are.
Maybe.
Even just by accepting it, the magic has been imbued in you of you're now a part of this.
Maybe.
And if she hadn't been polite and she was just wait, what's this? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, would things have wound up different?
I just feel because they filmed it, her tossing it, that had some sort of significance. Or he tossed it, actually.
Yeah. I thought that'd make someone mad, or they'd be like, no, you have to wear this. Or we will not let you in until you wear this. Or there's so many things that they could have done to make this more well, why are you making her wear this? I don't want her wearing this, whatever. Maybe it covers up the camera, and that's a dramatic thing
that
or
way
something.
People are just trying to figure it out. Maybe they did that on purpose, the way it's
Or it's or they could be offended or be well, why aren't you wearing the necklace we gave you? Now, granted, there's a whole bunch of them there, so apparently that's not an issue. But
that's what I mean. I don't know what that, and I don't know what the significance was that it slid into it. I don't know what the significance was that they just gave it to her and not to the gentleman.
Well, we know by the end why they did it, but it's one of those things where at this point it's okay, fine, obviously you don't want to wear this creepy Blair Witch necklace, but then the fact that you toss it, and it's almost like a parody of tossing it, and there's just 1,000 of them right there, and it's
everyone else has been tossing.
This is where you leave your thing we give you as soon as you walk in the door. You basically cross the threshold. Maybe it's because she crossed the gate wearing it.
Maybe.
And once she crossed the gate, she didn't need to wear it anymore. And it's take it off. I don't know. But yeah, so the little girl, she asked if other girls will help her make those necklaces. And the girl says she's not a girl anymore.
Oh, this part was
and
so
that
cringy.
Father took care of that. Dang, that is horrifying.
She's hushed.
She's interrupted, by Madam. So there are 20 children in the commune, and apparently they're all Father's children there, which that's fun.
That's scary.
That's so fun. They're only allowed to film what Father allows to film, which is apparently everything.
Yeah.
I mean, at no point are they told you must turn the camera off.
But they have to stick together too. I kind of had that because when she leaves, that's, you know what I mean? I feel like they all had to stick together, so maybe the spy cam was for one of them to sneak out and do something.
I never got that idea.
I don't know.
I never got that idea. Because even when she leaves, it's not So they're about to get started when Lena seems like she's going to throw up. She leaves to the restroom, and they're told Madame will take care of her, which
she tries to, she immediately starts gagging right when she sees Father.
Right they're about to start interviewing.
Yeah, right when she walks in, and before the interview even starts, she can...
Right.
So...
Yeah, something's happening. So the first question, of course he's asking about the relationship with the children at the commune, which, I mean, they're just going to come right out and say it look, this is the big problem everyone seems to have, is that there's these rumors that things are happening with the children that probably shouldn't be happening. And father explains that his job is to cleanse them. Yes. Holy crow.
Yes.
So then the battery on one of the cameras runs out, which is convenient for plot reasons, but a crew that seems to have this much experience would never go into the situation without like a vest, like literally like a battery vest, like of just every pocket, every type, any like AA, AAA, whatever the equipment needs. You have like 15 batteries for each, fully charged. I have no idea how they let that happen, other than just for plot reasons. Well, that's another thing that just bothered me.
And he does say, like, I thought I charged this. I knew I charged this. Or he says something to that effect.
It doesn't matter. You still have like 20 others that are in like...
Which is true, but I feel like that was sort of that like, okay, so something's going to happen now. Like, you know how in paranormal things be like, I charged this battery and now it's dead. Why?
But then, like, you could put another battery. Like, I know I charged all these.
Yeah.
Like, at least have one backup where you put it in and it's like, how's this not charged? And then I'm just like, fine, I will give you that. You at least had one backup battery on you. It's not charged. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. It just really cheesed my grits because you don't go into the situation where you don't know you're going to get every shot, where you're so worried apparently that you're going to lose your cameras or not be able to use them. You have hidden cameras.
That's true.
And you're not even having adequate batteries for the cameras that everyone can see.
From his standpoint, that is true, but I feel like most people don't know that. Like, most people aren't, well, I shouldn't say most people, but it's not film school.
I know.
But you are right.
It's just one of those things where, I don't know. I know too much.
Yeah,
I'm cursed with too much knowledge. I can't enjoy these things anymore.
It ruins them.
So anyway, so the head of the crew finds out that Adam and Lena have conceived a baby when Lena is engaged to the head of the crew, so Malik. So Malik and her are engaged, but she is going to have a baby with Adam. Apparently things haven't been great.
Yeah, and it comes out because
he goes out to the car,
Yeah, well, Adam is like, how do you know it's mine? And that's when she's sort of like, oh, well, we haven't touched each other in months.
Right.
Which is where I thought maybe that's why they did the hand touching thing and he sort of stared at her a little bit.
But it was the cold guy who stared at her, not Malik.
Yeah, but I thought Malik kind of like tensed up too. Maybe not. Maybe I caught that wrong.
I don't know.
And then maybe I also thought maybe the guy didn't like the fact that she was speaking over him. But then again, Madam kind of speaks her mind a little bit too, so maybe
But not in front of father.
But not in front of father. But I was thinking maybe that's like a patriarch. That's why maybe a patriarch thing. Like this woman is taking the place over this gentleman who's supposed to be interviewing me or asking to interview father, and I don't know. Maybe it's just up to certain interpretation to whoever.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. So basically, when Malik's out of the car to go get that battery, he sees this on the hidden camera, the button camera or whatever, and yeah. So Adam then suggests an abortion. Lena tells Adam to shove off, and then Adam walks away from Lena. Then a bell starts ringing that just. The ding dong, ding. It's like a traditional like alarm clock.
I thought it was like a time, like it's noon here or something. Like
yeah, it was a very nonchalant, nondescript bell, which I guess is more horrifying.
Yeah,
I guess that it's basically like the start of the Wing song, "Let 'Em In." Anyway, is what I associate that with too. So yeah, the bell starts ringing, and the sound guy like has sat in the chair. He's just like chilling. Where I'm just like, dude, you forgot the battery, man. You don't get to just chill on the chair. Like, anyway.
And there's that awkward silence, too, where they're both sort of staring at each other. And then he tries to do kind of an interview.
Yeah, like so what do you think about organized religion?
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's not your job, and the battery's going to die or whatever.
There are far other ways to, like, handle awkward silences than bring up that bomb, like, to this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, are you capable of leading this interview? Because apparently Malik didn't think you were, because you're the sound dude. So anyway, so apparently it's time. So father starts telling everyone, it's time. Cups are passed out to the children, which I'm like, oh no, it's the Kool-Aid. And the sound guy starts to interrupt father, who threatens him with a box cutter and a warning. So at least he gets a warning.
He does get a warning, but my goodness, father can be scary, like snaps.
Oh, I was scared of him when he was drinking the milk. I'm like, who sits at a restaurant and just drinks a glass of milk? Like, that's somebody you don't want to mess with.
That's a red flag right there.
It totally is.
Never sit at a restaurant.
I mean, just a glass of milk in the center of your placemat in what looks like a Coke glass.
Red flag.
No.
Run away.
No. Yeah, it is not good. So then Adam comes across a woman with her belly cut open. Again, why is he recording? I guess it's in his
his shirt or something like that.
No.
It must be the hidden camera.
The hidden camera.
So she screams and writhes, which again, this camera being in like supposedly his button placement, you see his hands like pulling back the sheet. I mean, it's so immediate.
Yeah.
Like it's really effective. Like I really appreciate like that it's like you're right there. And then the sound guy interrupts again because he's an idiot, and then
and he gets what's coming to him.
Yeah, he gets his throat sliced open by father with the boxer, which is just crazy.
And it's not even like, I mean, they really show it like it's.
Well, he stabs him in the neck, and then it's like, yeah, it is nuts.
And now, is that being filmed by the camera that's knocked over?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's in one of those instances, again, they do a great job of cameras being knocked over and giving us another perspective because the battery hadn't died yet, and you get the what's happening from another angle. And it's an unconventional angle because obviously the camera's on its side, and so it's very interesting to watch. I mean, it's never uninteresting to watch. They do a great job of like, how can we get more interesting with these cameras versus just somebody running around shaky cam.
Well, I feel like that's like the workaround that you were talking about, where it's like, why are people filming this?
Right.
Like, what's going on? This is the workaround.
No, it's really, and it's really, it doesn't give you enough time until you're talking about it afterwards to really start questioning some of these decisions. For the most part. And so then Malik finally leaves the car to run back in. He's gunned down like almost, or he's shot almost immediately. Adam hears Lena's screams. She's being carried off. Adam pursues them with a pipe by a bunch of women. Yeah, it's like Midsummer style. An explosion knocks him back, which I'm just like,
where? Yeah, no.
Because nothing had happened. Yeah, like I don't know. But then someone's crawling on the ceiling. I didn't really see who it was.
Well, before that, don't we see everyone dying? No, this is afterwards.
Well, the children. He sees that the children have all their heads are on their desks, so they drank poison and are dead. Malik does see people shoot themselves, and then a guy runs in like he's going to run away, like he's trying to get away from this, but then a guy's following him with a shotgun. There are people sent to finish people off who are trying to get away. He gets killed, and that's when Malik also gets shot, but he's not killed. He's not killed,
but you see like a bunch of people are like shooting or killing themselves, or else they're killing somebody, and then they don't even try to bother killing him. They kill themselves. Like that one guy who was shooting people in the back of the head, he goes, "Hold on, wait your turn," and then he ends up killing himself.
Well, no, that's in front of Adam. Because he doesn't. Yeah, because his whole thing is like, just wait. Like, wait, you'll be dealt with like
later.
Like something, you're being saved for something or something, and that's where it's like,
Gotcha. Okay.
They know not to kill him. So then someone's crawling on the ceiling. A father shows up in front of Adam and basically he's wearing just a loincloth, and then he explodes in a shower of blood and guts. It's just nuts.
Which I don't understand that either. Like maybe there can only be one father.
I mean, he's like, he's kind of like the gatekeeper. Now he's exploded, the gates open,
that's a good analogy.
Or something like that. Or that he's like the final sacrifice. It's the final countdown. So then Adam kills Madam, and then he fights really hard these four women are on the corners, like holding on to the woman. It's like Midsummer style.
Yeah.
I feel like Midsummer took a lot from this. And he rips their hands off, but not kill them. Like their eyes are rolling back in their heads, and like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, all their eyes are white. So that's why I was thinking maybe like the talisman means that you're technically dead, or like because even the children come back. Like you're technically dead, but if you have that talisman, you're like reborn again.
Maybe, but Malik comes back, doesn't he?
No.
I thought he did. Or the sound guy, or one of the guys, because he recognizes.
The sound guy does, but he was the last one to touch the talisman.
Yeah, but he didn't wear it.
I guess you're right. I don't know.
I don't know what the rules are. I would assume if he'd stayed long enough, Malik would have come up too.
You need to know the rules of the game here, people.
Because Malik's shot in the head right in front of him, and of course we get the view from his camera as the blood hits the wall and stuff like that. So. Even though he rips the woman's hands up, it's all too late. He lifts the belly, shirt off the belly, and there's all the car symbol carved in.
Yep, and then there's movement.
Movement, yeah, which is not the greatest effect. The higher resolution of these cameras didn't help things, but anyway. But then a horn just shoots right out of her belly, and it's like, what?
At first, I didn't know it was a horn. I thought it was a knife. Yeah, I thought a knife stabbed up, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was that answers the question of what's going on with Lena.
And then she just has one giant baby.
Well, a demon walks out, and it's just like it's like it feels like one of those like Vegas magic shows where it's like like there's obviously like a fake there's a mirror or something under the table that makes it look like there's like a pass through, but they're really the demon's hiding under the table and walking.
Well, it's funny looks like such a magic show. He just stands up, like he's like supposed to be in this belly, and it just looks like the demon just stands up.
hello.
And then like
hello.
he even like pushes his leg out from over, and I'm like, what is this?
His leg comes out of there?
Well, he like stands up, and then maybe it is.
Oh, it was his arm. I thought
it was his hand or his leg. Like he was like jumping out of her, and I was like, what is this?
But he goes so slow. Like, so Adam is running to the car. He's attacked by the dead, who are now ghouls. And he gets to the car. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
And he's driving. He's driving super quick. But then we hear thum 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 thum, and then the demon crashes into the car. He seems severely injured. I'm like, would he really be that injured from that? I mean, I guess he didn't buckle up, but so he's like he's
like on the hood, or so the car's flipped upside down, and he's on the inside top part of the car.
Right.
And then I saw him moving. At first, I was like, is someone carrying the whole car?
Yeah.
Like I thought like something was like transporting him, or something was happening.
And I get the idea that like it's hours later, like because it's like he's like, knocked out.
Yeah,
so
and woke up.
I kind of was hoping, it just kind of seemed incongruous because it's actually like mere like moments later because he's getting out of the car, the camera is in such a way that it's looking up at him, and then we see the demon head poke over.
Which is that, so it's a black goat head demon.
Something like that.
So isn't that supposed to be like a Satanist cult then? Isn't that one of like the symbols for like Satanism or?
Is a goat's head? I mean.
I think it's a horned black goat's head is like the. So I was like, okay, so now we found out, so this was a Satanist cult.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't think actual Satanists would be like, yeah, this is our jam. Like,
no, I agree. I agree. I think it was one of those things where like they didn't think that this would happen, but it did happen. Like,
or it's one of those things where they were like, they lied even to themselves as like, this is going to be great and glorious, and it's actually like this horrifying thing. Like they're promised paradise, and it's actually this horror show.
And that's where I thought, like, maybe that's why, like, their paradise would be you can never die because you're a ghoul type. You're like a zombie ghoul.
I think it's one of those things
thing.
where fathers seemed to know what was up, but like at the same time, like the followers, I wonder if they just were like, this is going to be a wonderful, beautiful paradise, and it's actually like this bloodbath.
Yeah.
And whether they. Yeah, it's like, well, we get eternal life, but then it's like, oh, here's the cost. You're now a roving ghoul. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Yeah, and of course the demon calls him Papa as he starts laughing hysterically, apparently having gone insane, and the tape cuts out.
And why do they call him Papa?
Because he basically took over the embryo or fetus in Lena.
Oh, okay.
Somehow they knew or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, was that the glance father was giving in the restaurant of like, I know you're pregnant. I can tell. I could smell pregnant on you. Like,
I could smell pregnant on you.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's one of those things, and somehow they knew, and somehow they knew Adam was the dad, so of course he ends up being the dad of this demon.
He ends up being Papa? Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, so that was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wild. It definitely wasn't boring. So then we're back to the frame story. The PI is returned from the store, but the woman's dead. And then he looks over and he sees a tape that says watch.
And he doesn't seem very...
It's kind of like, well, bummer.
Was she dead, or was he thinking that she was like just sleeping, like
well, he took her pulse. He took her pulse, right? He put his finger on like her neck.
See,
and
but
was
I thought that he didn't say like. That's why I was like, oh, maybe she is just passed out. And he was just like, oh, here we go again. She was passed out before, and then had a bloody nose. Because he doesn't freak out, and I feel
she was sitting up though with the bloody nose.
Well, yeah, but
and he had no reason to think she was passed out.
I guess you're right, but I was just like, why isn't he freaking out more? So I was like, oh, well then she must not be...
Because he's not watched any of these tapes.
No, yeah.
So it's not like he's under like a thrall.
Exactly. So I was like, I mean, if you walked in, and obviously it's, I mean, I would assume it's his significant other, because he calls her babe, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But he like isn't freaked out. He's just...
He's chill. He's
nonchalant about it.
Oh, tape has blood written, watch written in blood on it. Yeah, why not? I guess I'm here. She's obviously not going to be doing anything anytime soon.
She obviously can't watch it, so I'll watch it for her.
The Library Grindhouse will be back after these messages. This episode of the Library Grindhouse is unofficially brought to you by episode 6 of the Library Grindhouse and by other VHS-related films on Hoopla and Canopy. Check out VHS 1 and VHS Viral on Hoopla, and then fire up Canopy to watch VHS before watching our review. And now back to the Library Grindhouse.
I guess, well, maybe this is her last wish for me. I guess I better honor it. She told me to watch it. She's dead now. It'd be a disservice to her to not watch it.
This is why you should know your significant other's handwriting, everyone.
I have no clue what that's about and why his reaction's like that. Other than the fact is we need one more short film, and we get a couple brothers making a cardboard robot invasion movie. Their dog is the camera person, which is kind of fun.
That is fun.
I like the mouth going and like, yeah. And so their parents are leaving, and their sister needs to study for an exam, and they're like, oh, but what's his face is going to show up, like, you know that, right? And they're like, yeah, whatever, be good. And I get the idea it's like a stepdad scenario, because he's just like,
forget
you guys, I'm going to take your mom for a spin, all right? Have fun. Like, I don't really care that much about you.
That's why I thought, like, when he was
and like bad stepdad. Not all stepdads are like that, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I get that vibe of like
his sister, and for some reason I was thinking like the sister was the dad's kid and not his like actual sister, and that's why they were all trying to like gang up and like pick on each other.
But there's an age difference though. That's like, of course, with that age difference, I could see that being like an issue where she's like pretty much almost out of the house, and they're still like kids doing kid stuff, and like so they can't. There's nothing that unless she would make an effort to be like a kid again with them and like play with them and have squirt guns and have want to make these crazy movies with them, she'd have to make the effort to be a kid again with them, and she's obviously not doing that. And so they're having fun where they're old enough to want to get into hijinks, and like at this point it's like they don't want her to like to have fun with them anymore. They just want to like at this point they're just at the point where they're just going to bug her and drive her crazy. Is the vibe I get. But anyway, true enough, the sister's boyfriend and another couple show up. And then a few of the brothers' friends show up. So they have all got all these people over.
It's like summertime fun. Just,
completely unsupervised. They get into pranks and hijinks until the aliens show up and start grabbing them.
Which was great. I thought that was a really cool shot when the kids are in the water, and you can tell it's like, the GoPro's waterproof. And they kind of do a thing like, cool. And then another one, the big kids jump in, but right before he jumps in, you can see an alien in the water. Before it's even, because at first, I was like,
I remember that the first time I saw it then.
What's that guy in Hellboy? The fish guy.
Oh, Abe Sapien?
Yeah, I thought I was like, oh, are we gonna like pull up some like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Abe Sapien dude? Like,
yeah, that would have been interesting. That'd have been a way to go.
And that's why I was like, okay, so we're gonna have some water alien thing. But then
kind of, but not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there still could be water aliens or whatever.
Yeah,
which if you watch Signs, they shouldn't be able to be on water.
Hey, spoiler alert for that whole movie. I'm going to have to cut that, Leah. Goodness gracious. I know Signs is really old and it's dumb as rocks, but I mean...
That's some people's favorite movie, Jesse.
Get a new favorite movie. Get a new favorite movie. It's one of those things where it's well constructed, it holds your attention, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And then when you get the twist, it ruins the entire doggone movie.
I do agree with you.
It's like
the build-up is
the best movies have a twist that like makes you reevaluate everything you watched in a positive way. Like now this movie is next level versus, really?
That was it?
It makes no sense.
Good thing that he didn't have his inhaler.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen it in forever and I'm never watching it again. Anyway. Yeah, and all the hijinks, it's like they pee in like their squirt guns and or like the water balloons, and they're squirting pee at the boyfriend and stuff, and it's really dumb and stuff. And one of them gets locked in a dog cage and like gets sprayed. I was like, did the older kids help them do that? And like it seemed like
they just jumped on.
It seemed like they ganged up on like the little guy to like put him in that thing because I don't know.
Well,
it was really weird.
I thought that they were going to bring that back.
Yeah, like he's still out there. Yeah, he's like the sacrificial lamb of like, where'd he go? Like, that would have been a really cool way to go. Of just like, wait, we locked him in there. He can't get out.
That's what I thought was going to happen. So I was like, watch out, little boy. Like,
yeah.
But apparently he got back out. Apparently it's just like a little...
Or like there's like blood like all over like the grating of the crate. Like, that would have been amazing.
Blood stuck to the silly string and everything.
Yeah, it's like
or instead of silly string, it's his intestines just like
they just pulled, like there's only like his guts still in there.
Yeah,
they
pull out
they literally it's like they cubed him, pulling him out of the crate. Like that would have been amazing. You don't have to show it again, just have the blood and the guts there, and it's like, what happened to him? What happened to Gary or whatever his name is? Anyway.
They never brought it back up again.
They didn't.
Just showed some
because they're in the house, they're kind of messing around. The older kids pull a hijink on, like that was just unnecessary what they have there. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, so they kind of are even at this point, and then the aliens actually show up. Yes. There's a huge noise. The camera jumps.
Flashes of light.
And you see aliens at the door. it's like a Scream situation where all of a sudden you see like the windows and the door and like all the windows. You're like, all of a sudden you're not feeling safe just from all the windows and everything. But it doesn't matter because they're already in the house. Like they can teleport.
Well,
they don't need to open the doors.
Because like you see something run and her boyfriend's gone.
Yeah.
And then you see it in the light or outside.
Well, they're leering outside, and it's like, why are you doing that if you can just teleport in? Like, you don't need to scare them. You can just...
I don't know. Maybe they're just mean aliens who just want to scare people. But I thought it was weird how, like, the sister, like, goes over and locks the door. I'm like, it's a glass window. Even if they can't teleport, it's a glass window. Why are you bothering locking the door?
Right.
Like, I don't understand that. You're just getting closer to
But they never break a window.
No,
nothing matters. That's the problem with this one.
Nothing matters.
So the brothers, the sister, and the dog get out of the sleeping bags because basically they're grabbed in there. One of the kids with the dog is grabbed with the bag.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden the bag starts filling with water, and it's just like, what is happening? Like, oh my, are they going to drown in there? But somehow they get out. They don't really do a good job of showing how. And they get out on the dock, and basically the aliens are scored by the Hans Zimmer BWOM. Like, I felt like I was watching the Inception trailer. Just like, are you kidding me? And they're almost always backlit. The dumb dog barks at the aliens, giving away their position.
Well, and I mean, I would be the same way because I love my dog. But they are very much so like, save the dog! Save the dog! Like, even down to
I don't want the dog killed.
No, I don't either. But even down to the very end when they're like climbing up the ladder, she's like holding the dog up, taking time for that before she tries to even climb the ladder, and then aliens end up taking her.
Right.
So, but the entire time, even like they hold the dog up on the dock and then they help another kid, it's just...
It's the whole thing of like the mask in the airplane. Like you help yourself first, then put it on the kid.
Exactly.
Like with the dog, it's like get the kids out of the water or whatever, then deal with the dog.
Then deal with the dog.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would probably do the same thing with my dog. So.
No, I know. And again, it's not like I want something to happen to the dog. At the same time, it's just like, oh my gosh. The cops show up because she was able to call the cops even though the power's out. Somehow the phone line was still working, which makes no sense. But anyway, the cops show up. They disappear, the cops, which I love that they were able to just have the flashing lights in the fog.
Yeah,
you never see the cars and just disappear, like gone. I'm just like, that's amazing. So Randy's taken. It's just the sister, Gary, and the dog. They hide in the barn. They immediately get in the barn. It's just like there's no point to any of this. Gary and the dog hide in the attic, and then Gary's taken, and the dog falls to its death. Ouch.
Which is so sad. So sad. As soon as I heard the whimpering, I was like, no.
As soon as I heard the crunch, I was just like, oh
no,
gosh. Yeah.
Please, no.
And of course the camera bounces off the dog, so we see the dog dying on screen.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, okay, this is like the 5th time we've seen this, so it's just kind of like, okay.
True. Well, my thing too is, how come, are they like, so they're abducting everyone? How come they just couldn't do the flash of light with the kids and everything else like they did with the cops? The aliens just really want to toy with them. I feel like the aliens just really wanted to toy with them.
I guess. I mean,
you really want some summertime fun, kids?
I guess like the aliens are pranking them. Like,
yeah, I guess.
I don't know. But
yeah,
yes.
The ultimate prank.
I guess. But we're back to the frame story now. The PI seems a little out of it. He continues playing a video of the kid they were looking for. He says he needs to make a tape for himself, and then he shoots himself with his handgun. I put that he committed suicide, forgetting what happened. But he isn't dead yet, I guess, so he wanders off to somewhere else in the house, right as the PI and the woman show up in the door.
So
dun, dun, dun!
Now, you know why the record was on was because that entire time, he was doing his monologue right then and there, right before they walked in. And when he shoots himself, it just blows off his, like, lower jaw. So he's got this, like...
His tongue's hanging down.
This, like...
He looks like the Blade 2 vampires, the Reapers, with their jaws open up.
And his tongue looks extra long.
It does.
But
your tongue is long, going down your throat. And then the hand of the woman starts to twitch, the PI's girlfriend, and she sits up and attacks the PI. Sure, yep. And then he runs off and hides in the closet as she skitters after him on all fours. It's kind of like an Exorcist spider crawl kind of thing.
And that was pretty creepy. Like,
it was
kudos
effective.
to that woman.
Sure.
That was a creepy crawl.
Now, she wasn't like contorted like back upside down and backwards or something, but it was still like a creepy
but it wasn't
body
like she
movement.
was crawling on her knees either. It was like her toes were like down positioned on the ground too.
Right.
She was just skittering around.
The PI shoots her, but then he's killed by the kid who was in the closet with him, which the kid just strangles him or something, which I'm just like, that's...
Yeah,
what you got?
That was kind of strange.
Because at first I was like, oh, is he like gonna like close his like whatever is going on with his jaw and like pincher him or something? But it's like, no, he's just gonna like choke him out, which I'm just like, that's it?
Yeah, the end.
Roll credits. So there's a larger question of like who's editing and piecing all this together, because they play this like you're now watching this tape of these tapes of just like this endless wormhole, like rabbit hole of just like.
Maybe the people who get the tapes, they decide like, oh, well, I don't want to watch this. So they edit them as they go on. So then I don't know.
Yeah, and I had to go back and remind myself who directed what, but it was cool to see like the Blair Witch guys doing one, and like the guy who did The Raid. That was pretty cool. And it does benefit from the media to see the camera. It feels more personal when it's and it's most effective, and like you're having to escape along with the characters. That was kind of cool. But yeah, those are our thoughts on VHS 2.
I feel like I should watch VHS Viral just to watch it, because I need to see. So I've seen this one. I've seen VHS 1 and VHS 2 at college. Yep. I remember really liking VHS 2, but watching it a second time, I was like, why did I really like that? I don't know if it's because I've seen other horror anthologies better.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked, even the ABCs of Death, I thought was really funny, which is another horror anthology where every single letter is the way how someone dies and, like, or about the movie. And it's, again, short stories directed by different people from all across the globe. So I really enjoyed that one. I, of course, love Creepshow. Love Creepshow 1 and 2. So I don't know if I had those in the back of my mind, like thinking of horror anthologies, and then I'm just like, what is this? And I had the same questions raised as you did. Like, why are they doing that? They never bring it back up again. What's up with the talisman? What's up with that look? What's up with, you know what I mean?
But you're looking for those things at this point, whereas like when you first saw it, you saw VHS, which again was fine, but it didn't blow me away. And then I saw this one, it was like a revelation compared to that first one. Like everything was so much clearer, and like the direction was much more competent and assured. There was a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
The segments were big. Like, I mean, we had a demon come out like and play. Like that was just crazy. I'm just like, wow, this thing is doing things that other, like the GoPro zombie. I'm like, I mean, the zombie thing was almost played out at 2013, but it was one of those things where we hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was super inventive.
I personally liked that one, that short, the best.
Yes, that is the best one.
Zombie GoPro.
The cult one is just the most unsettling.
Yeah, the cult one.
It was genuinely just unsettling, and that takes a lot.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And so I appreciated that about it. But the alien one was just terrible. The eyeball one was interesting. It wasn't bad. I didn't understand the rules of it.
Yeah, I feel like it could have gone on. Like what? So just like this random doctor's office puts implants in people that have some sort of supernatural ability.
Yeah, like what? I'd like to know more.
Why is there only
I feel like this is a corporation that should have been like a segment in the first movie. They mentioned this corporation. It's like this is like an evil corporation, like in this universe that is like maybe they manufacture special VHS. They're the only manufacturer of VHS tapes around anymore. Like they're actually like the tapes are imbued with whatever's in that eyeball. Like that'd be kind of a fun mythological sort of thing of like this KPB or whatever corporation.
But I was sort of just like, why? So what? So it's only these two people who have like had a special implant, and no one else at this doctor's office?
They're only two that have discovered each other at least.
That's what I mean. I was like, why? I don't know.
I think it'd be all right if they had other, like, if depending on VHS Viral, if they had like a continuing segment where someone else got something, I don't know, like their tongue replaced or something. I can taste them. I can taste.
When I lick the air, it's a spirit. I know it. Like I don't know. And then I want to see what's going on with 84 with VHS 8 because they can't do the GoPros. They can't do like certain things because that wasn't around back then.
So you're telling me I have to get my Shudder membership up and running and watch that one? Okay. All right.
I know. I'm thinking about doling out the cash for Shudder as well.
So maybe we'll do another episode where we revisit other parts of the VHS franchise. What do you think? In the comments, let us know. Should we continue our VHS education or should best left to just keep it at number 2?
Yeah.
And we've both seen number 1, of course, but it's one of those things where should we keep going? I don't know.
Or not. I haven't heard good things about Viral.
Nope, neither have I.
So
I think there's a reason it's taken so long to even get another one. And 84, that's really early on in the thing. So I'm not sure if they're like wanting to do like a Betamax version of it or something.
I was like, so that would have to
what's the hook on that? And I've heard like that it's gotten decent reviews.
I haven't heard anything about it, so that's.
I don't know anything else other than the fact that it's supposedly better in VHS Viral, but is kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, but VHS Viral I heard was just a stink tank, so there would only be one way up.
I don't know. Since no one's been commenting on these things, I don't let much hope that we'll get many feedback on it. But yeah. best listeners were, yeah, I mean, let us know. Like, yes, we should watch, or no, we shouldn't. We'll see. So basically, the clue for the next week's film is...
Clucifer here. Your clue for the next film is... I'm trying to give a clue here.
Well, if you think you know what the movie we're going to review next is going to be, let us know in the comments, as well as whether you think watching the other films in the series would change our thoughts about VHS 2, or if we should even just watch them at all. Let us know in the comments. So for the Library Grindhouse, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Leah, and I'm going to go watch a bunch of mysterious tapes that I have at my house. Bye.
That's not a good idea. See ya.